there, and welcome to the Kingdom Sexuality podcast. We're Paris and Alana, friends who have a heart for intimacy and long to uncover God's truth and design for sexual freedom within marriage. Welcome here. Okay, so welcome back to another episode of the Kingdom Sexuality podcast. Today, we are doing something we've never done before, and I don't know why. I think this episode's fantastic, and I'm so glad that Rusti thought of it because it's amazing. So, happy Valentine's Day. And this episode is our gift to you because it is when Cupid misses the not so cute part of Valentine's Day.
It's the all too relatable when things go awry in the bedroom. So whether you've been married for 10 days or 10 years, I'm sure that you guys have some doozies of stories. And so today we're just going to share some of the things that we have come across, that we have experienced, that are all too familiar whenever it comes to misses in the bedroom. So when things get awkward, that's what we're talking about today. So this will be the gift that keeps on giving all year. You can revert back to this episode anytime you need to, and it's guaranteed to put a smile on your face.
And it's funny because sex so often, when we talk about it here, it's always like, oh, like the Song of Solomon, and you know, he just desired her body and they made love outdoors, and it's just so sensual. And I don't know, it has this view about it that's just really rosy, you know, those rose-colored glasses view of sex, where, like, you know, I don't know, if you're really thinking about having sex outdoors and all that comes with it, there's a lot more, right? There's a plethora of things that could come up and issues that could arise.
Absolutely. And we go into it, I think, so often so naive and with our own just preconceived notions as to how wonderful and steamy and beautiful it's going to be. But in reality, there are so many just slip-ups and what goes where, and is that the way that's supposed to be or feel or look or whatever. There's so many things. So I thought this is something that I think I would have loved to have listened to, and still to this day, if I was still just on the listening side of this podcast, if I saw this title and knew that that's what we were going to be talking about, I would click so fast. I would be so thrilled to hear other people's funny stories and just how I could relate to that. So
totally,
we are going to get into this and shed some light on, you know, just normal things that maybe you didn't realize were normal, but we want to also just relieve some of that stigma and pressure because, you know, it's a beautiful thing that we get married to our best friend, and the bedroom should absolutely still be a place where you can laugh off things. And if something doesn't go right, then all right, this is not going to be something that we cling to or that we let, you know, scar us, even if it is humiliating. And so lots of grace to be given here. So first thing we're going to jump right into, and these are weird sounds. So it can be, you know, an awkward body parts rubbing together that make weird sounds, especially if you're sweaty or if things are really getting intense. You know, you can get sort of like the armpit fart situation of random body parts that happen to make contact. And then all of a sudden these weird sounds are happening repeatedly over and over again in rhythm with you. And you're just looking at each other like, oh my gosh, is this happening right now? So maybe you think I'm going to start this communication game. I'm going to speak up and I'm going to tell, you know, my husband how hot this is or how much I'm enjoying this, and I fumble on my words and I say something completely wrong or that makes no sense. And as you know, it's hard not to get distracted by that. There can be gas that comes out of places. You can have, you might have, you know, I'm just going to say it here, guys, queefing is something that just happens, especially if you are, you know, postpartum or anything like that. there is just extra air that gets trapped in your body, and it is just a natural process. Things happen. So, it's just one of those things. And I don't want anybody out there to think that that is something they can't bounce back from. Or, that's why it's so great to have your best friend, so you can literally just look at each other and laugh and be like, yep, that happened. Okay, moving on. I'm glad you're still going to have to love me, honey.
Yeah. I think it can really happen easily too if you like change positions
Right?
a lot during sex too, because you go from one position and then like say like your husband comes out, you get into a different position, he goes back in, and somehow like air gets trapped in there, and then afterwards you change another position, you're like, oh my goodness, what did I just do? Like, what just happened right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So many times. And I'll
Right?
like just the look that comes across your face where you're just like, oh, yep, that happened. All right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I'm still sexy, I promise.
Yeah. Right. You're still attracted to me. That didn't just totally ruin everything.
Right?
Oh goodness. There's been lots of awkward sounds over the years that,
Yeah.
The 17 years of marriage, lots of awkward things where you're just like, oh man, okay, yep, that's reality right now.
Yeah. The second thing that can happen, it's normal, is cramps. My goodness, cramps.
Yes.
That is just so my world these days. Like, you're in the middle of it, and, things are great. You're in a rhythm. You're zoned right in. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm almost there or whatever. And then you get this, like, butt cramp or, like,
Horrible.
hip cramp. Oh, it is the worst. And like Jeff knows, he knows like, okay, don't we stop everything? Like Alana's got to stretch her leg. Like we got to make this right.
Bummer when that happens. Oh, well, and also it's like, because a lot of times it's like as everything's building and getting exciting, you tense up. And so that just adds like insult to injury. It's like, man, I'm so close. This is so wonderful. And then it's just like, boom, nothing makes you want to have to like seriously jump up out of bed more than getting a horrible cramp somewhere in your body.
Yeah. And not only that, but like even those like, when you're like running a race and you have like that stitch in your side, like that can happen too, where you're like, come on, like body, don't fail me now. I'm getting somewhere. Like I was so close and you screwed me up.
Yeah. That's so true. So true. I think there's a face, I'm sure, that I know that I recognize, and I'm certain that my husband recognizes in me, where it's like once that face, you notice it, it's like, oh, you got a cramp. Okay, let's stop for a second and stretch or do whatever we need to do. Oh, but yes, it's all too familiar. All right, and number 3 is oral sex conundrums. So anything related to being down there. Maybe you overestimated your ability and you gag. Maybe you get some type of, pubic hair in your mouth.
Oh,
you have
no.
TJ, something, your jaw locks up, anything like that. Maybe he gets exhausted. You just never know what it could be. But that's so, like, you would hate to have to stop and be like, okay, hold on. This is too much.
Just let me breathe. I gotta fish out this pubic hair.
Hair out of your mouth. Like, I can't. Like, nope. Or just imagine, like, you get back to it and, like, you're really in, like, an intimate position and your face is closed. And you just imagine if, you, like, see a hair hang off of his mouth or her mouth. Don't kiss me right now. Babe, I love you, but keep that over there. I don't want it.
No.
I would not be able to contain myself. I would just, but yeah. So lots of things that can, just mishaps that can happen whenever you're doing that. Whenever you have your face in the most private of parts, then there are just a host of things that can make you laugh or chuckle or, distract from the romantic and intimate time that you guys are having.
Yeah. Okay. Next, we've got mishaps with the extras. So thinking about lube, I mean, it's pretty easy to accidentally squeeze out way more than you need, or you get it on your hands. You're like, where do I put it now? Like, where do I wipe my hands? Most often, it's like, I'll just wipe it on you. Like, wipe it on your back. Like, whatever.
great. It's moisturizing.
Right. Or lingerie, trying to get that off. Man, bra hooks. Like,
Yeah.
that can be a struggle sometimes. Even just trying to unhook a bra, you're like, maybe we need to
There's some
practice this more.
out of it.
Yeah.
Let alone trying to let my husband do it. But
Right?
yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize the lube thing either until, I mean, I didn't even know about using lube until probably our second or third year of marriage. I have no idea how we missed that memo, but thank
Oh,
God that we really got on board that train. But there has definitely been situations where I mean, if you just get a little bit too much, it can become like a slip and slide situation. And it gets dangerous. And so it's just like, and it can also really decrease the sensation for them if there's too
right.
much lubrication. Like you have to get that amount down quite a bit. But also, like, if you think about adding in, food or sticky substances or things
Right.
like that, it's all fun thinking I'm going to bring this chocolate syrup into the bedroom, this whipped cream, but then afterwards it's like things are sticking to each other after it dries. Didn't quite get that off, right?
Oh, man.
They can just be an absolute mess. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. Food is a fun one.
Yeah.
And then let's see, number 5, we have reaching climax too soon, too late, or just at an odd time. And so think about it, it can be super awkward. Number 1, it's like the given is, if someone gets there too soon, and then it's like, oh man, we were just getting started.
Right.
And so it could be that. And then it's like, well, what, I guess we'll have to figure out something else for the other person. But then you think about like an odd time, like what if you were in the middle of switching positions and then it's just like, whoops, nope, okay, I guess we're over. I guess that's done. And it's just like, there are so many awkward times where that could happen. And I mean, I'm sure lots of people can resonate with that. Or you're in the middle of trying to talk or trying to tell them something and, you just get cut off and you're like, nope, okay, no, we're good. I guess that's the end. And the end. Game.
Right.
Good
You're
game.
like in the
All
middle
right.
of like saying, oh no, actually, can we switch? This is kind of uncomfortable. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Okay, bye. Yeah.
It's fine.
All done.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Oh, it's so true.
Yes, so that's a totally common thing that happens. Oh, this one's good. I had to put the song in here because it's just what I heard. I don't even know if I can say it or sing that or anything, but it's absolutely what I thought whenever I did. And I put slipping. And if you have little girls or daughters or children who are fans of this particular movie, you will recognize it. But number 6, put slipping into the unknown, aka wrong hole penetration. So another one of those tricky things, like for instance, if you have too much lube and you're not, maybe you have changed positions or you're in a position that you're not used to and you don't know how things line up per se. And maybe, one of you thinks that you probably lined up great. And so they go for it. And all of a sudden you're jumping up, a good 6 inches off the bed and you're, hold on. Now, that is not the right place. That is not what we are prepared for tonight. No. So, yes. Or if you have if the lubrication situation has happened and slip out and think you just go right back into it. And, there are 3 holes down there, people. Holes. So there are other places that, your husband can go that you are not receiving or receptive of. And so that's one that's, I think, very often has been like a, whoa, buddy, slow down, situation that we have dealt with. Let me help you here and guide you back into the land of the known.
Take my hand. Let me guide you along this journey.
Sure. Come on, honey.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a common one, I think.
Number 7 is surprise guest appearances. So, thinking kids walking in or visitors showing up, phone calls. Put those phones on silent, people. Pets coming in to take a look, or even good old Aunt Flo coming around. I know for us, once it was on a weekend and we were like, oh yeah, like let's go to the bedroom. Theo, we just turned on some Winnie the Pooh. He was going to watch something. We even brought the other monitor. We have a video monitor. We brought it into the living room, set it up so we could watch him sitting on the couch watching Winnie the Pooh. Ellis was sleeping. And we're like, okay, let's just run to the bedroom. You know, whatever. He's fine. He's just watching Winnie the Pooh. Like, he won't even come in and see us. But anyway, whatever. And so then we're like right in the middle of things. And all of a sudden I look on the monitor. I was like, Jeff, he's gone. And so then...
Where did he go?
And then I hide under the blanket. I'm on top of Jeff. and Theo just comes into the room. And he was just like, are you sleeping? And I knew if he had seen me, he would have been like, Mommy, come watch Winnie the Pooh with me. Anyway, so that's why I hid myself. And just
nonchalantly walks in.
Yeah. He's like, all right, buddy, like, go finish watching your Winnie the Pooh. We'll be there very soon. Okay. And like Theo was like, no problem. He's like, okay, like goes to watch Winnie the Pooh again. But I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm so glad it's not one of those. Right. He will not remember this. But
yeah. Once
we were in the middle of things, and just as you know, the pressure's building, you know, you're getting in a good place. And all of a sudden we hear something. I was like, Jeff, I think someone's here. And,
oh no.
Yeah. And someone had arrived at our home. And so you quickly like get yourself presentable and like as fast as time as you can and like walk out trying to act like a normal person.
Yeah, nothing was going on. You didn't interrupt anything.
I'm all red, but everything is fine.
I always look like this whenever I'm walking out of my room.
Right.
Oh, goodness. It was for several years in a row, it seemed like. It was like clockwork. Anytime that we found ourselves able to sneak away, my mother-in-law would call. And it's like nothing is a mood killer. Like looking over and seeing your mom or your mother-in-law's face on the phone next to the bed. And just like, oh my gosh. And so then, you know, it's either like hurry up and rush and turn it off so that the ring doesn't wake up the kids. Or just be like, okay. So there was several times that we had, you know, phone calls that interrupted. And then I'll never forget, there have been multiple times because the way that our doors close, there's still, you know, like 2 inches where you can peek underneath the door. And there have been multiple times where, because what we say to the kids is, we're changing. So they know, don't come in here. One of us is going to be exposed. You don't want to see that. And so we'll be like, we're changing our clothes. We're locking this door. So don't come pounding on the door because we're not going to be able to let you in if we're changing our clothes. So, okay. And then there has been multiple times that all of a sudden we will hear, it doesn't look like you're changing. I can see your feet on the bed.
No way.
And I'm like, and so it's, you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, they're right there. They can see at least the bottom half of us, because otherwise the rest of us is completely out of eye line. But still, it's just like, oh man.
I'm gonna put a towel down at the bottom of your door.
That's what we had to stop. We had to start doing. My husband was like, let's just leave something down there that we can just, you know, nudge over and get it in the way if we need to. But yeah, nothing ruins it quicker than hearing your little sweet child saying, I can see Daddy's feet hanging off the bed or at the edge of the bed. He's not changing.
Oh, so good.
Busted. Okay, thanks, guys.
The best intentions. They're so sweet about it.
Yes, it's true. All righty. And our last one is pokey hairs. So whether that be from the beard of your husband, you know, maybe his 5 o'clock shadow is a bit too fresh and, there's no give to it. Or if we have our hairs, maybe we've shaved our bikini line, maybe we need to shave our legs, and it's just like, this is a quickie and we haven't got to do it, and you're putting your legs next to his and he's like, oh man, ow, ow, ow. And it's like, you've got little splinters everywhere. So not always for the most comfortable of situations, but definitely a common thing that I think go through. And it's just one of those things, another one of those things that we offer a lot of grace for. And sometimes you have to be like, okay, stop. I'm literally going to have razor burn.
Oh yeah.
From your face or whichever. And so, I mean, there have been tons of times that even just kissing, I will actually jump back from my husband and like, it feels like you're stabbing my lips with your whiskers and your beard hair. And so I always tell him, I either like you clean shaven or like a good, 3 or 4 days post where it's gotten long enough that it softens up a little bit and it's not just like daggers coming straight off of his face.
It is so true. It is the worst. Or if you're like, you're just in the bedroom having sex and then you come out after and you got all this like your red all over your neck because you're like had nuzzled up against each other and you got these.
There's evidence.
Yeah.
Yes. That's absolutely true. Oh yeah.
So we just wanted to share these, kind of sticky situations, these common things like hiccups, things that can occur that just kind of throw a wrench in your plans, because just because we have this podcast does not mean we're exempt from these things.
Right. Guys, we love you, we see you, and we are you. I mean, we are the same. We ride that same struggle bus sometimes. So
we wanted to encourage you this Valentine's Day that if things get weird, if awkward sounds are said, if you get a cramp, if if you get a pubic hair in your mouth, just know that you're not alone, and know that there's people who they've got your back. And we're just praying that your Valentine's Day and the whole rest of this year, honestly, that you just have really great bonding moments because you're doing this with your best friend and you're growing with them. And so we just want to encourage you to get through those, weird moments and laugh them off and hug it out. And because you'll come out just even stronger on the other side, just closer. We're just praying that this year, despite the times that Cupid misses, that you would just be blessed and you would continue to thrive and have a flourishing sex life.
Hey friends, thank you so much for hanging out with us as we dive deeper into meaningful, godly intimacy, tackle the hard questions, and embrace truth while we're at it. We're also on Instagram at Kingdom Sexuality. You'll find our Instagram handle below in the show notes, where you'll also see any other resource links we may have mentioned in today's episode. As always, our hearts are to cultivate deep community and freedom with you guys, and we cannot wait to continue this journey alongside you. We'll see you in the next episode.